He takes it from me. You're doing fine.
Eat him, Kelly. Eat him.
Hey guys, it's Kelly here from Armed and Feminine, and I am learning to hunt. You know, it sort of came to my mind that all the craziness in this world, that if I needed to find food, how would I do that? So I'm heading to Arizona to ladies hunting camp with Candy Yow, who is a professional huntress. And I am super excited about that. Learning archery and rifle and shotgun and hunting. I'm even going to skin and quarter my own meat and then cook it outside on a fire, totally off grid. Come and enjoy the journey with me. And remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and give us a like and a comment as well. So let's go hunting. Morning from Wickenburg, Arizona, and it's cold. So today I'm going to be doing some archery and rifle and learning how to skin and quarter an animal. I'm really excited for this trip.
And you hold it a couple inches above that crossbar. Look how many hashtag lines down below until you're on the center of the red circle. See how far down it appears to be on that.
All right, so 6'5" north.
Picture of some more.
Got it.
Oh!
Yeah.
Lucky shot there.
Okay. So it tightens up, and we can adjust it a little bit just on tension with how tight you strap it to your wrist, and then the rest you have to actually do it manually through the release. But you hear that click, because if you don't and you just put it in there, then you go to draw the bow, usually that will pop out.
Whirly bird.
Yeah, whirly bird. Snap it in. Yeah. Got it off. Do you remember? Yep.
This is the part that I'm gonna.
That's okay. You always want your trigger facing out.
All right.
So you gotta
for these
go back,
Flip it into here.
flip on that, and then push it forward.
I was expecting there to be tension on that,
Yeah.
and I'm not
Then
going to use this
put
finger.
this finger behind it. I know. So you have to pull
Oh,
back.
for goodness sake.
I know it's.
I don't know.
You'll
what
get
that is,
used to
but
it.
you had me-
You may have to bend this arm and bring it actually to you, so you can, as long as you can see through that, and then touch the trigger. I know. It's okay. You don't have to. But you're just off of almost the
Yellow,
top of the back.
the middle yellow.
Yeah.
Obi's going for the bear.
Obi-Wan.
She pulls
One.
and
In the top of that.
Yep. Oh!
woo!
If you hit the lungs, if you hit here, you got room to move back, you got room to move forward. One thing I always say, when you shoot an animal, bow, rifle, I don't care what, I carry toilet paper in my pocket for multiple reasons. But one of them is to mark things. The lungs, there's gonna be about a 6-inch void on an elk. Above the lungs and below the backbone, that there's nothing there. If you hit that, whether it's deer, elk, whatever, he's perfectly fine. He's just got a hole through him that will heal. But you're gonna think you got him. You just start, when you're skinning, you cut, keep your knife kind of angled against the, if you cut like this, you cut the hide a lot, and if you're caping it, you don't want to cut your hide. Now you're gonna cut this bone. You're gonna keep that right against it like that. Keep it tight against that bone. Always cut down towards that bone.
Oh, okay.
Don't get too high now. Just stay a little lower.
Doing good, but he takes it from me. Okay.
He takes it from me. You're doing fine.
Eat him, Kelly. Eat him.
Go low, go low.
Wow.
Ah, you're slipping on the blood. Slippery, yeah. Now we got a lot of extra meat, girls. Still on it. Woo! Nice. I'll go with bronze medal. I don't think it was a gold effort, but well. Learned way more than I will ever know. So next we're going to try elk calling.
these are reed calls, okay? And these are great little calls. I use these. They work incredibly well. They're obnoxious sounding.
It just takes time.
Make noises.
Sound at all,
To call.
Yeah, it just
Oh,
it does.
or-
It just takes time.
If
And
there's
lots
another
of
animal
practice
around, it will stop them
away
in their
from
tracks
us.
because it sounds like a regular animal. Takes some practice.
Once you learn the vitals, I mean, I've taken shots from 400 yards, shooting basically right in front of their tail, angled so that when it goes through, it actually takes out the vitals, and it works. But if you don't really understand where they're at in the anatomy, you don't want to do that. You want this shot. This is broadside. He's standing right there with his legs apart like they should be, and there's his heart, there's his lungs, and there's his liver, okay? And you're going to shoot directly behind the shoulder, about right there, okay? A little more than halfway down from his back, and you're going to take out his lungs and his heart, and he's going to... One shot that you'll constantly hear people say, I shot the buck, I know it, I shot him, he went down, he got up, he hardly bled, I followed him for a mile, he quit bleeding, and I seen him go over the ridge an hour later. Okay, what they hit 99% of the time is there's a void between this bone here and the backbone. It's called the void, and it is no different than this piece of skin right here between our thumb and our fingers. So if I shot myself through there, it'd hurt and I'd cry and I'd bleed a little bit, but I'm going to be fine. And that's what the void is. It's the only semi-ethical miss that you can make. The rest of them are probably going to cause a lot more damage. So, but your goal is to always hit the heart or the lungs, and hopefully they go right down.
All right, so next we're going to do scouting and tracking. So we are going to be using optics like binoculars and a spotting scope.
And it still works, as you can see. We could not go that direction whatsoever because that's blowing directly into that deer's face. And he would have smelled us by now and exited, okay? So if you were lucky enough to get here, we're going to have to figure out how we can get around the back side of him to get a shot unless you shoot directly from here. So let's pretend it's not blowing that way and we don't want to shoot from here. And the reason is there's a road between us and that deer.
Like, I don't see horns, but
All right.
he's almost kind of hiding all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
Like with his front shoulder and his hip,
Right.
all the good stuff is hidden.
There's one reason you couldn't take that shot. It's only 330 yards.
Right.
So just about anybody could take that shot. If you wanted to get closer, you could. You could just go along through the brush and get right on this knoll right here, and that'd probably put you at about 250-ish, somewhere in there.
So, like, at what point do you get close enough that you don't scare him? Like, well, clearly they know you're coming.
We would scare them right now if he was real. He would not stay there. And that we'll share is called a range finder. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the buck, put it on the buck, and push the little button on top, and then put it back on the butt. Like yesterday, it was amazing. I saw, right from here, I saw cows running down the rifle range with a cowboy behind them.
I saw that from the rifle range.
Yeah, so, yeah, my heart stopped.
Okay, orienteering. The description said, if you don't know what this is, you need to sign up for it. How to use a compass, how to read a map.
Every little line, that's the elevation line. Okay, so the closer the lines are together, the steeper it is. I mean, this country here is steeper than a cow's face down through here. And this here is basically rock. It's so tight. But we were camped right there where camp was. And a map, the top of the map, where the writing is, the top is always north, okay? So if you take your compass, put north on the north, and you lay it on there, and then you start twisting you're gonna twist this map around so all the north points north. Here's my camp spot.
Your left finger.
There it is. So I set that on my camp. I get the map, this thing lining up with north. I keep turning the map so it's directly north, okay? I mean, if you look at, there's a little pig looking thing, that's a javelina. I've seen javelina there or whatever. The blue ones are water sources that I've found out here in the desert.
Orienteering, learning to find our way with Nothing but a compass. Where to walk at 43 degrees for 300 feet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13. I can finally read a compass, red in the shed, and it's always going to point due north. The other thing about walking the paces, I learned I've got a really long stride and that I have to do 55 paces to walk 100 yards. Who knew there was so much? But hopefully now I won't get lost in the woods. So back from ladies hunting camp, the video doesn't even begin to describe all the experiences that I have. I even missed a whole bunch of video because I was either so engaged or didn't have time, like camp setup, just, I can't say enough. You know, before I went, I had no idea what to do about even beginning to hunt. And now after this experience, I'm pretty sure I have all the fundamentals that I'm gonna need to get started. Will I be successful? That's another story. Stay tuned. I'm Kelly from Armed and Feminine. Remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, leave us a comment on what you enjoy most about hunting. And remember, it's your life, protect it.